Hello boys, Cool Yoshi here, and welcome back to my line sort of bonus playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. We left off completing a couple of quests, but before I do the bonus episode, I've decided to go through some of the bonus quests and figure out what stuff I have done. And I accidentally realized that one of the quests I completed that was linked to one of the super bosses wasn't actually needed. So now the super bosses are literally just going to be part of their own best episode thing. But that's not going to persuade me from not still doing them, because I do still want to do that. Also, I have a Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu bonus episode I want to finish in particular. So I have to do quite a bit of other stuff as well. So anyways, we need to defeat some Grove Quadrains in Satoral Marsh for one of our first objectives, in addition to Mount Toras, or whatever they were called. So I figure, let's finish what I started last time and just try and finish off all the side quests, and when there's, at least until there's literally no side quests left. These are nighttime, right? So I have to bring them out during nighttime. And that should hopefully bring out red X's into the playfield. Yeah, okay, now they're starting to spawn. In case you're wondering, probably the biggest reason why I wasn't able to get back so much is because I had to prepare for the super bosses, and I noticed that there was not much to do, so I had to do quite a bit of different stories. So this comp I'm running with here is actually the comp I'm going to be using for my super bosses, because super bosses nowadays, they are very difficult, and in fact so difficult that most of the time you won't be able to really damage them much. So in order to defeat them effectively, at least this is what the game wants you to do, I believe they require lots of other crazy strats to beat normally. But what we're going to actually do is a method that I already showed off in the last video called topple locking, where you essentially stun lock an enemy using topple on them non-stop until you deal with other stuff. This can also be used to deal with any trolley enemy in the game either. And here's the good thing about it: every single enemy in this game that is a super boss is also at least vulnerable to topple. Only certain storyline bosses, particularly the final bosses, are immune to topple completely. So there's not very few stuff that's actually immune to topple, and most of the stuff that is immune is pretty easy, and only the final boss is really that challenge. As a result, it ends up being pretty easy to go through most of this. And of course, I did lots of farming to set this up, including getting Glorious Future. So I guess before I do anything else, I will go ahead and show off my skill trees. I have everything maxed on Shulk and Glorious Future activated, which proves that I have that. I'm going with his Humanity skill tree because he gets his own effects of the chance of a chain link. So the more we have, the better. And then we chain linked him with Rhine. So I'm just going to show off what I have on at least these characters. Rhine's using his camaraderie skill tree. And we're also linking all of the effects to the other stuff. And here you'll see in just a minute on Dunban, I've chosen to have the link for Glorious Future, which essentially is, it maxes your talent gauge with Allen/tension gauge. Your tension will immediately go to max. If you change any vision, it can be literally anything. And this can also happen anywhere in the game. The reason why we want to change a vision is because the higher tension is at, gives you an extra chance of getting more damage off, and the higher you are in general, the more chances you will get chain links, because there's like a legit hard chance that chain links may pop up at random. But they can only really pop up a lot in that case if you're at very high tension. So the more tension you have, the better. Which is probably why I've been getting a lot of randomness. Beyond that, though, the chain link and the other stuff is still pretty random, but I finally did find out how to control it. It is linked to both your extra chain link chance, which you can help use, and of course, the higher the tension, the more of a chance to get a chain link to begin with anyway. And again, now there is other ways to do this. For example, it's possible to do a combo that actually allows you to at least attempt to beat one of the fights without using Shulk, though for this part, I feel like Shulk is really helpful and semi-required for beginners to use, because without him at this point, it's just a little bit crazy. I know I've mentioned probably changing to other leaders, but honestly, for the super bosses in particular, Shulk is best at this point. Now, I do have a guide on each of the super bosses, so when I do my big move, I will do that. Now that I've mentioned the super bosses, I feel like people will scold me if I don't at least attempt to beat them. Though I will say, though, they're not quite as good as some of the other bosses in some of the other games. Like, I feel like the Final Fantasy bosses are generally more stronger than them because they're even harder and more annoying. And there's even more RNG in Final Fantasy to begin with. Like, just think of it this way. You glide up to the max level in Final Fantasy, similar to this, only to find out that there's a boss that can still kill you all in one hit and other stuff. As a kid, the first one I've ever at least seen was Ruby Weapon in Final Fantasy VII, and he destroyed me, like, easily. Like, I did not know how to vanquish him. Nowadays, though, I've watched quite a couple of videos and I know exactly how to vanquish him. If any of you want to see that, I'm thinking about maybe potentially doing maybe a Platinum Trophy walkthrough in the Final Fantasy VII normal mode. I could do this in Remake as well. In fact, I have actually platinumed all of Final Fantasy VII Remake and defeated a super boss in it, which is a little bit different. I believe it's more or less just a tournament you have to go through. The super boss is not necessarily what you think of it as, too. Like, it's essentially a stronger version of another boss, but that being said, it definitely still has its own challenge. So anyways, the reason why I did so much of this is because I wanted to finish off the quests in here. Or Nick's Final Test. And Pronax, Belly Meat, and Machina Forest. And the belly meat is found by teleporting to either Sparkling Pool or the left and right things here, and then getting some other stuff elsewhere. Now, I will say I am not ready for one of the super bosses. There's one particular that doesn't necessarily do a lot of damage, is just annoying to hit with the topple setup. So, to ensure I have the best accuracy, I've gotten night vision up to as high of a rank as I can. I'll probably be defeating all of the bosses during the night time to make advantage of this. So I need to remember to change that to there, because if I don't I think it'll be really hard to do so. Also, remember this area, which we went to for a while now. Yeah. Now, initially, I always wanted to fight in the daytime just for having weaker monsters in some areas, but now it's starting to become, like, it's starting to become the fact that maybe nighttime might be better. And yes, when I was off screen, I did a lot of grinding. I realized how hard it was to get some of the top gems in this game, so I went and got a lot of our gems, particularly those debuff resist gems you see on my characters now, because getting a 6 rank of a debuff resist gem gives you 100% debuff resist, meaning essentially any debuff cannot hurt you. It's very important for a lot of the battles because it speeds up a lot of the fights overall because of not having to worry about dealing with that. Okay, now we can finally go back to Frontier Village. Starting up here because this is the area I need to be for the quest turn-ins in here. I nearly did all of the quests from before, but I found out that there were a couple more hidden quests. Oh, there's that one. Alright. Hey, coming from Dapon. No more naughty turtles stealing Dapon's goods. Hey. There's lots of random quests that I haven't done. Like, there's still quite a bit of them. It'll depend on how much time I have. I might just straight up go straight for one of the things that I need. Right. Trying to find a secret character is not easy when you figure out that you have to search for more than 50% of the game just to figure out where to go. Of course, the one thing that I've learned that would help is to just find the original quest giver. This is so hard. As you might have guessed, because of what I had to do to grind up to this point, it took a lot longer than I initially expected to do this part, and I still have quite a few things to do. Like, I initially completely forgotten that when I finished my Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu walkthrough, I wasn't able to actually finish off all of the other stuff. So I was thinking of maybe re-uploading some of those, not necessarily for the extra contents, but just to get my new thing on there. It does say in Frontier Village, but I completely forgot where this guy is. It's just obnoxious. And yes, when I do the super bosses, I will show the full fight of each of them. And I may as well go for all of them. Because what they are in this game is they're essentially more powered up, unique monsters. And I have an idea of which ones I want to kill first, too. Now, these videos might be a little bit shorter than 1 hour, depending on what... Oh, there he is. He finally came out of his health, that jerk. Tips of need to tell you that. Hey, that Pro-X baby you got there. Show's so boring, but I will do my good job patrolling. Alright. So he only comes out at an even later time than before. Good grief. That's why I missed him. New note, try and go to 21 on the timer from now on, just to make sure he comes out of his house. Alright. Oh, there's another one. Okay. We have to chat with him. Oh, it's another time secret. That means you have to be on a very specific time again. I don't know what it is, so I will go to free first. And do other stuff. Now, I do kind of understand what Lich Time is. Like, I think normally in the regular world, it's like 12 for most people. But keep in mind, this is in game time, so it's going to be quite a bit different. Okay, I'm going to try and predict one of the times here. I'm gonna start with my best guess, probably, which is going to be 12 on the dot, exactly. Is my best guess here. No. In case you're wondering, the quest will not trigger properly until I have a minimum of, unless I go at a very specific time. It has to be a very specific time. Okay, good. I got it right away. What can we do? Oh, that made it so much easier. Instead of being like an idiot and not telling me the other stuff, he actually mentioned the exact time that he goes to other stuff. Which in this case is in-game time of 3 minutes. Or whatever. Keep in mind, it's not necessarily the exact thing you think. Sometimes it's a little bit different. In case you're wondering what's happening, as I can only talk to this guy at a very specific time of day, so I can't actually activate his conversation until you absolutely get to a specific slot. And that can be at like a specific time. So right when he starts talking. Here's the funny thing, I already checked around 5 p.m. or whatever, and it doesn't work. Okay, well, I'll have to go at 5 instead, because that's the earliest I could do. In in-game time, this is the earliest he can go before it'll reach 6. It's really annoying. The game doesn't really give a clear opinion on which one's nighttime, which one's daytime. Well, I guess in this case we would have to do it in completely reverse order. So we'd have to set the time like we did before, but add 13 to the total time since it goes to 12 to the total time since it goes to army time. So in this case it would actually be 15 or 18 instead, which is very close to when nighttime actually begins, which makes sense. Okay, so really it was not as close, far away as I thought. I just had to change the time up to 3. Alright. Let's do this. Okay, PM we found out is, with the addition of the army time, so in this case, we have to go all the way to 18. Tomorrow's the weather. Alright. My goodness. And midnight's pretty easy, it's like 24. So that's actually easier than I thought. It's literally just fast forward time 3 hours at a time, 3 times in a row until he finally decides to finish the quest. This is a weird quest, but kind of a goofy one. I could have probably done it earlier. People trying to live like Miko ever since last time. She prayed hard a day and never complained. People may have Miko. Ish, too far from Miko. It's like you got a problem. Oh, Dunban. And got an extra text box there. Oh, now we have to get some more cheapy items that are a little bit harder to get. Right. So at that point, we're gonna actually go to Colony 6, which is, once again, our really best area for doing side quests, since lots of the side quests were blocked by certain people getting invited over, which I completely forgot you could do. Like, I went for the tutorial thing and everything, but I never remembered that you could invite people over. And as you notice, there's still even more quests to do here, so yeah. That being said, if I want to fully complete 100%, this is one of the only ways to do it. Because you can only complete it with stuff. Oh, wow, we have 2 choices. Either go to Noara or Olga to get more medicine. Right now, we need to tet to Nupu Rick. Okay. Keep in mind, a lot of these could have gotten done in, like, chapter after like 4 or 5 or like as soon as you get Colony 6 up, you could have actually invited people once Colony 6 reached level 1. Though that being said, it's still pretty late to do a lot of the rest. It's probably one of the biggest things I've learned. Oh, okay. I always I want to talk to a different character, and then I was like, whoops. It's fine, as long as we finish the quest, it'll be fine. In case you're wondering, the different quest choices you have simply changes what reward you get, but at this point, I don't want the reward anyway. Okay. We found out Ugo's medicine is actually bad for him. Alright, looks like all the quests are done here. Since it's endgame too, all the quests are technically open. There's lots of quests that I missed as a result of doing stuff. I actually realized that one thing is that I've missed a lot of quests since playing the game. Oh, it might be that stupid rainstorm thing again. Ugh. So I'm gonna hate my life right now. What is with all these characters and wanting stuff that can only be gotten during rainstorms? This is just annoying. Well, time to change the time until, our stuff gets finished. Yes, sorry if this seems boring, but most of this is just preparation for what's coming up later. Okay, thankfully it wasn't actually required. It's just nighttime that's required from the looks of it. I've used 2 movement characters as well. Like, my other team, I have 1 character with maxed movement. So I use that character normally for moving around the world. And... oh, really? I'm at level 99 and I still can't kill that guy in 1 hit without, the crit. That's so annoying. Well, obviously, this looks like a slow thing to do, so we're probably going... time to do the return of the save and road trick, and because I want to save on a different file this time, I'm going to save here. Oh, wait, never mind. Dang it, I saved on the wrong file. Looks like I committed to that. If I end up with that... okay. So in case you're wondering, we could do a trick where we just save and reload this thing over and over again. Now if we load it enough, we can do stuff. If this video ends up not getting fully recorded, I'm not going to worry. I'm gonna do the stack up with this guy. And once you get one save down, you basically want to multiply the chests to get stuff. Whisk glow stick. Nice, since we got both of them, we'll save and then load. Essentially what you want to do is load and save over and over again, kill monsters to get as many items as you can. In this case, we'll do a safety shot. There we go. In case you're wondering, you want to basically spam save to get the save off, and then if you don't get the item you want, you can just load to get it really quickly. This is particularly good for the monsters that only have 2 particular spawn rates. It's just because doing it normally would be really hard normally. He's too far away. Of course, their spawn spot is completely random, so we can't really deal with that, unfortunately. It's a little bit obnoxious. We save in between each one because we want to make sure we at least get something for them. Of course, after each fail, we get more and more treasure chests are added to the spawn until eventually there's like 3 of them. I think once you get to 3, you could straight up just choose to reload one chest until you get it. Okay, now I'm feeling like I'm doing a speed run at this point. It's just ridiculous. I do want to get a lay one, so I will, okay, I'm not going to take that, though. I'm going to not take that. I want at least 2 or more. Because they're only brown, I'm going to add another one in here in a minute for safety. We don't actually need this much. I'm just doing this for safety. Okay. Say and low. Alright. If we get 2, well, nope. So now for the fun part, I get to load my same save non-stop until I get the RNG required to get the stuff. The best bet would be to get 2 of them before all of the chests get opened up, because then I don't need to kill an extra one. In case you're wondering, this is a reload chest trick, because chests don't necessarily have a set RNG seed with them. They actually don't respawn until much later. This can get very annoying, so like I said, if I get 2 wisp glow sticks within the first 2 chests, I'm gonna save the game so that I can get all of them. So far, the first 3 have only been silly antenna. Didn't even get 1 there. No reason to just take the last chest and only take 1 here. Come on. Someday the first chest has gotta have 1. So far, I've only gotten 1 for the last chest. And yes, I could save and reload or just pause trick this, but I am not interested in that. Haven't even nailed the backup either. I was thinking of doing a potential backup strategy where if I get 2, but the second one appears in my last chest, I can potentially just kill that monster over there and reload its chest until I get it. Oh gosh. Keep in mind, this is all random RNG, and some of the monsters don't even drop silver chests half the time, particularly the weak ones. They have really low drop rate. Now keep in mind, you could also trade for those items, but I've basically forgotten now to trade properly. It's the 3rd time in a row now I've gotten free silly antenna in a row. Come on, man. Just give me the freaking glow sticks so I can get out of here. I don't want to multiply the chest any further, because then it just gets even slower. There we go. At least a decent chance of getting it. And of course, it ends up getting wasted. That's where I was considering potentially loading again. But it shouldn't be that hard. Just get 2 Wisp glow sticks out of all of the things, and then I could just reload the same chest non-stop. Until I get... Oh, there we go. Finally. Jeez. Now we can at least kill this. Alright, now we have... nothing. Make sure not to accidentally load the rod save. Though usually it's not hard to... it's pretty easy to avoid usually, you know. I will multiply the chest to at least 2, and of course now the load's not even needed. Alright. Next gift for Riku is on Valak Mountain, which is around the area where the super boss is, but it's one of the weaker ones. Okay, these are just collectory items, nothing really big. Keep pressing the run button. Jeez Louise, look at the amount of item locations on here. Seems like 90% of the stuff is hidden on Valak Mountain, yes. On second floor in particular. I don't need to reload these immediately. Okay. You know what? I don't even need to reload check for this. There's so many enemies that I could just go around killing them normally. Sure, fine. It's not like I needed those anyway. There's a Siller, and part 3 done. Alright. Okay. Alright. Still having some fun stuff, eh? Oh, okay, I think I finally did all of the quests. Well, the time for eternal suffering is about to begin. People are probably gonna get really annoyed at me if I don't do this, so I'm going to actually take out the super bosses. It looks like they are not required for semi 100%, but if you are doing true 100%, you do need them because you have to kill each of the unique monsters each once, and that does include the super bosses, which makes them rather annoying. So, to make sure I have this set up, I'll kind of show you, something else to do. And we'll start on our main area, at least I was able to find, which will be, area maps. This will simply be, what is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. We're gonna do the one that I mentioned earlier, that 120 enemy in Valag Mountain, and I'll probably just go ahead and knock out all the stuff on Valag Mountain. Because there's one secret spot in the Velga Velastel for Lila's Church, and Free Sage Summit as well, so I'll start on Free Sage Summit just to make it simple. And we'll just take out whichever boss goes up. In this case, this guy will be first. But until then, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this. Comment, rate, subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.